It's time for the pitching guru right now on A's Cast Live. Scott Emerson and Emo. Before we talk about the guru on our A's Clubhouse show, the postgame show, you got called the pitching doctor. You're getting all kinds of nicknames these days.
Hey, Emo will do. I guess Emo will do.
All right, start of the season. How do you feel about your pitching so far?
We came out of spring training and I was, pleased with what we did. We hit a little rock. Sometimes, dead arm is going to start to set in. It's okay. Now, how can we execute our pitches? Getting back to our game plan of, executing pitches. Obviously, first pitch strikes and 1-1 counts are always important for every pitcher in the league. And when you want to get ahead, you got to throw your best pitch, more often in good areas. And when you're behind, you got to throw a pitch that they may hit in a good area. So, pitching's still important, but the first 5 games, you got a lot of new faces coming to a new team. I know there's, some anxieties in some guys, but, like I told the guys, let's get past that and let's keep rolling.
I talked to manager Mark Kotze about it. It's like one thing when you come out of spring training and you have all the good vibes. Well, now the games actually start. They mean something. There's now a little more pressure. So the first time around, you can have somebody like Paul Blackburn be absolutely fabulous. You can have another guy maybe has some jitters a little bit, like a Joe Boyle throwing strikes. The first outing, how much weight do you put in the first outing versus what you're going to see start 2, 3, and 4?
Well, obviously you want to put weight into every outing, right? Because this is a results-oriented business. So it's a learning experience. Okay, what did you do in spring training when you were pitching really good and comfortable and confident that we can get you to do the same thing when the lights are on? The game speeds up on us a little bit. And obviously, spring training, sometimes you're not always facing big league hitters. So now the execution really has to pay off when you're facing these big league hitters. The lineups we face, they're big league lineups. And sometimes in spring training, you get 3 or 4 big league hitters that are in the lineup. And then you get some guys that you faced maybe in the minor leagues and you feel more comfortable facing them because you've gotten them out in the past. So now it's about gaining that confidence about you do belong here, and that's why you're here.
A lot of talk to start the season, and we talked about it last year, but there's so much data out right now how 4-seam fastball has always been traditionally, it's your hardest fastball, it's your straightest fastball, but we're seeing it at record velocities, but the usage of it is coming down more to breaking balls, whether we talk slider, cutter, sweeper, changeup, splits. Why are we seeing more off-speed versus straight hard fastball velocity?
Well, I think, if you look at movement with velocity wins. Hard sliders, hard cutters, balls that move late, they win. Straight fastballs give hitters an opportunity to hit it. It's not that the fastball that we don't like, it's the fastball that's not executed. When you fall behind in the count and you got to throw a fastball more center cut, that's the fastball we don't like. Do you have the ability to hit the corners? Do you have ability to hit the shadow zones? And, right now, some guys just are just throw it to the box guys, and they don't have that ability to hit the corners. And so that's why you go to spin. Spin can always win ahead in the count. But, when you do throw your fastball, when you throw it and it becomes useful, then the other pitches are even more useful. They have to respect your fastball for you to get that spin. If they don't respect the fastball, whether it's hard or located, they can sit spin all day. Now spin in the zone is a hanger. You want spin to be in the zone, out of the zone, right? So I think the fastball usage may go down at some point in time because it's thrown too much close to the middle. And, look, hitters there's velo machines now. These guys are hitting year round. The guys in the Northeast, we always say, they show up to spring training to get in shape. They're already in shape. They're hitting off velo machines all year long. Hitting's just getting better. And if it's straight, I always say everybody can time a bullet. But that's pitching, the disruption of timing that I always talk about.
Yeah, and when you talk about it, if it's just spinning, we saw it last night in South Florida, Trout's second home run going 470. It was a spinner, didn't break, he hammered it. So it's like it's so interesting as you talk about pitching and fooling hitters or just keeping them off balance. And in today's world where we have so much data, and we know exactly what the hitters, we know what they hit in certain counts, what those certain counts and pitches, what they hit. With all of that data, I'm always interested, who's controlling it when calling the pitches? And we know the catchers have these wristband now, they look like quarterbacks, because, you know, it's hard for a pitcher to be out on the mound, blood's pumping, to remember everything. How important is it for the catcher to have all that information, call the right pitch at the right time?
Well, you know, obviously, you know, where can I go with my fastball to each hitter? They have weaknesses, right? They have strengths, they have weaknesses. Where can I go with my fastball? We know where the breaking ball is generally going to go. It's going to go to the glove side down, and then maybe glove side down and below the zone for chase. We know where the changeup wants to be. It wants to be at the bottom third. So where do we execute our fastballs to all these hitters is the first thing that the catchers need to know. And then the breaking balls just play out. Is he a good breaking ball hitter? Does he stay on breaking balls? Is he willing to use the opposite field? Or does he want to roll over a breaking ball? You know, hitters have strengths and weaknesses. Pitchers have strengths and weaknesses. Can the pitcher execute a strength off one of the hitter's weaknesses? That's what you really want. If not, you got to determine what strength on strength we're going with.
Now, this is no doubt such a mental game. And for pitchers, your job is to get either no contact or weak contact. As a pitching coach, when you see your pitcher out there, and it's tough, when you do your job and guys make errors behind you, it's hard not to show your frustration as a pitcher. You don't want to show your teammates up. What's that conversation like for you with the pitcher when he's doing his job, but unfortunately the fielders behind him are struggling?
I think it's just control the controllables. Control what you can do. You know, we could do a better job of holding runners. That helps cut the gap down. You know, free passes, we can't give away free passes. We got to challenge them in the zone when we need to be in the zone. So, you know, for me, it's talking to the pitchers about just control the controllables. We've all made mistakes. You know, you walk a guy, I don't want the infielders upset at you. Just like if the infielder misses a play behind us, we can't get upset. We got to move on and show what you're made of and get the next hitter out.
Now, catcher throwing the baseball can be a weapon. Shea Langeliers so far, how much have you enjoyed watching him, that arm talent, throw the baseball so far?
Yeah, he definitely gives our guys a margin of error on our times, on our release times. But, you know, we still want to give Shea an opportunity to throw guys out. Just because Shea is one of the best at throwing guys out in the league doesn't mean we get to be 1-4-5 either and take advantage of that. You know, we still want to work on a good delivery, something that we can get rid of the baseball within 1.35 seconds to give Shea more opportunities.
I mean, people need to realize you work with the catchers too. I mean, it's a game plan, right? I mean, just talk about what you've seen from him as a guy calling pitches, throwing the baseball, doing his job, his craft, how much you've seen him progress.
Well, you know, Marcus Jensen, you know, our catching coach is, you know, for me, one of the best in the game. You know, he's got some Gold Glove guys that he's worked with. And it's a collaborative effort of all of us, you know, talking with Shea, putting the game plan together, letting Shea do his own homework and put the game plan together as well, and giving Shea the autonomy during the game to kind of go off of what's going on. You know, there's plan A. The plan A is, you know, right, like you said earlier, it's on the wrist. Plan B is, okay, reactionary. What is the hitter trying to accomplish? If we got fastballs away and you can see the hitter diving out over, can Shea and the pitcher read that sooner to make the adjustment to go more pitches on the inside part of the plate? So, you know, Shea, it's called swing recognition, and Shea does a really good job of swing recognition.
Let's switch over to the bullpen. Dany Jiménez, to me, is going to play a very pivotal role because the offseason was all about Mason Muller going from starter to reliever, and he's going to be a closer in the power arm. But we know he's not going to be able to go a lot of back-to-backs. How important is that for Dany Jiménez, who does have the experience to close out games?
Well, I think, you know, everything's important for all our relievers, right? That first guy in is the momentum changer. Anytime the first pitcher comes in the game and can shut down the momentum of the offense is huge for us. And Dany, having experience as a closer, can do that earlier in the game as well if we have Mason closing. But, you know, the addition of Austin Adams, Ursig, having a great last 2 months at the end of the season, we're very confident in his abilities. So, you know, a lot of it is looking at the matchups and who can actually, you know, end the rally or end the snowball effect right there. That's what we really need. We need that reliever to come into the game at that moment of time and shut down the action.
And you know how much we love big lefties. My guy, Muller, just like you, 6'7", coming down the hill. We had him on the show, and we've talked a lot about using your size. Don't get small. Big guys play big. Don't get smaller. Yeah. Coming north-south, less twisty east-west, coming down south. 2 appearances, and he's really sucked it up and done well for you in middle relief. Hopefully that'll get him back into the rotation at some point. What have you seen with the big lefty? Because he has a ton of talent.
Yeah, I think, last year, with so much information out there and technology out there, and there are, styles of pitching, tall and fall, drop and drive, and things that people have listened to. Last year, I think Kyle was experimenting too much, trying to get maybe deeper in his backside, and like you said, not be as tall and use the leverage down the mound. I think, he got back to what we traded for from Atlanta, is that tall and fall, top to bottom type pitcher. He did it all spring training. He's done it his first 2 outings, and it's looked really good. So we got to keep that posture and that delivery rolling, where he can maintain that arm angle, driving balls top to bottom. And he was really good last night.
Remember the King, Arnold Palmer?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody knows Arnie. It was like the biggest star.
Arnie's Army, right?
The road to success is always under construction.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's, like I said, everybody's always trying to fight to get better. And sometimes it's about executing what you do well on a consistent basis.
Like, how do we get better? What do you got for us? How does A's Cast Live, how do we get better?
I mean, you're looking pretty dapper with the shirt now.
You like the Link Soul, our sponsor?
You got the sponsor on. You're looking pretty big league with the pants. Your shirt is ironed. I think you got nice makeup on.
Thank you. I always have makeup on.
I think everything's rocking and rolling.
We know what they say, look good, play good.
In order to be important, you need to look important. Webster Garrison told me that one.
You're the best.
Thanks for having me.
You're the pitching doctor now.
I'm the pitching doctor.
We might have a whole new thing here, but we always appreciate the time.
I don't know your next guest. He's a pretty good pitching doctor himself. So.
Andrew Bailey pitched for you.
He's coming over too. Yeah.
He pitched for you in Double-A.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Appreciate the time. All right, buddy.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Scott Emerson right here on A's Cast Live.